Hello Virgo, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that Fool card to start us off. This is really, really good. I think right now in your life, you're ready for adventure. You're ready to transcend. You're ready for the new. You're ready to kind of move on from the mundane parts of life. You know, you're ready for, you're ready to explore your curiosity. You're ready to take whatever may come. You know, the Fool is really, there's no self-consciousness. There's almost no limitation. There's no prejudice. There's no bias. It's just kind of like whatever life is going to offer me right now, I'm ready for it. And I'm hungry and I'm curious and I'm ready to transcend. I'm ready to embark on a new path, whatever that path might be. So right now I feel like you're open to, kind of open to everything, you know? And sometimes this feeling kind of is a little bit annoying to people, right? Because they're saying, well, what do you want to have for dinner? I don't know. Everything. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to go. It doesn't matter where we go. It's going to be fun for me. And so other people are like, well, great. Now I've got to decide, you know? So I wonder if you've been a little bit indecisive lately, but it's not because nothing sounds good. No, it's because everything sounds good. I'm so hungry right now, and maybe because I'm hungry too. But everything is appealing. Everything, you want to immerse yourself in everything. You know, sometimes the Fool doesn't really have a lot of direction, has that appetite for life, but doesn't know really where to go. Is just kind of is ready to just go with the flow and stumble into whatever may come. So maybe we need to take a look at what's going to come, right? Where are we going to find ourselves with this energy? Let's see. Oh, we see, now we see the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man to me is really us immersing ourselves in something to the point almost where we're getting close to kind of forgetting where we came from or forgetting who we are, you know? And I kind of feel like that's what the Fool wants. The Fool wants a situation that I can just completely devote myself to, completely immerse myself in, almost to the point where I forget who I am. I forget where I am, what I'm, you know. It's just almost a complete identification with something, you know. And sometimes that's not a very good thing. Sometimes we don't want that. But I think when that's something that we're after, and that is really being so involved in something that time is just passing and we're not aware of it. It's almost like we're just existing in this infinite moment. And before we know it, oh gosh, it's 3 a.m, I better go, you know? That kind of experience, being so immersed in something, whether it's a relationship, whether it is spending time with a friend or a family member, whether it's our work, our creativity, whether it's playing music, making music, right? Listening to music. We're looking for that immersive experience. Well, let's keep going. The past position. Now, we kind of something different. Because a lot of major arcana cards, first of all. But with the Chariot card in the background, this is not the immersive experience. This is us in an experience, but still safeguarding our individuality, still feeling separate from it. It's like, yes, I am here, I am doing it, but I'm not part of it. I'm not becoming part of it. So we keep our boundaries, we keep our individuality very, very closely, carefully guarded here, right? The Chariot, I kind of feel that there's a little box around it. Yeah. And I feel like this is the way we've sort of been experiencing. And then you think of the Fool and the Hanged Man. Look at those two. I put them upside down. We think of the Fool and the Hanged Man, and one of them's naked, and one of them is just so open and just kind of just sprawled out, very vulnerable, very open, right? But the charioteer and the chariot very guarded, got the armor on, can't even see who is in there. Right? So to me, this is you keeping yourself separate from people, from things, from experiences, not letting people really see you. And that's a means of protection, of defending yourself, right? Lately, you've been wanting more change, more variety. Lately, you've been wanting more immersive experiences, and you want to open yourself up. You want to take your armor off. You're ready to just say, hey, world, here I am. This is what's underneath the armor. This is what's underneath the shell, Very interesting contrast between these and the Chariot. Yeah. And the Chariot is kind of just someone that's how they exist in life. And it again, very, very careful. It's very protective of self, right? Where there's something that is valuable or vulnerable in here, and we're protecting it. And over here, it's almost as if, I don't know, what's the analogy to use here? If you have something that's very, very valuable, I don't know what it could be. Let's say you got a new phone. It's very delicate, right? You put your case around it and you really protect it. You put this armor on your cell phone, so nothing can happen to it. And everywhere you go, you're like, I got to be careful with this phone. I got to be careful with this phone. That to me is kind of the Chariot energy. I got to be very careful with this. And so we're very, very kind of cautious. We're not doing a lot of things. I don't really want to go a lot of places. Then the Fool and the Hanged Man, it almost feels like I don't even have the cell phone anymore. I left it at home, and now I'm out in the world, and now I can do whatever I want because I'm not worried about breaking anything. I'm not worried about losing anything. So I feel that you've let go of something. Maybe it was your phone, I don't know. We let go of something that we were concerned about breaking or damaging it. And now it's just like, now I have this freedom. Now it's like I'm not worried about this thing anymore. And I don't know what exactly that is, but that's the feeling I'm getting. Okay? And it's allowing you to really be free, that we realize that we don't have to carry this very delicate thing around with us everywhere, because then we're like, oh, don't get too close, don't get too close. And we're not doing the things we want to do because we have to taking care of this little thing. But then there's a release from that. There's a freedom from that. There's just, not that you don't care, but in a way you're carefree. Yeah. So we're having kind of a spiritual awakening. We're having a bit of, I think, a drive to take a big risk, to be alive, Let's keep going. Let's do more cards here. Empress. The Empress is kind of a confidence that things are going to be okay, right? That we can either go through life with this caution, that there is something that we don't want to break or damage, and we don't want to scratch up our things. So it's kind of like, and I've been this way in my past, when I was a kid especially. I would have something, like I'd get something new, whether it was a toy or it's just something shiny, I don't know. I wouldn't want to damage it. I don't want it to get scratched up. I don't want it to get dirty. And so I wouldn't play with it. I'd keep it clean. I'd keep it in the box, and I would look at it. Sometimes I'd take it out and look at it, but I wouldn't play with it. I wouldn't let anybody else touch it. I never took it anywhere. And that kind of is, to me, that's the Chariot card right now. But then the Empress is kind of like, well, is life just having this precious thing, if it means we're not doing anything with it? Is it just the possession of something? Or is life in the experience of doing the thing, of using the thing, of, and maybe it's with our emotions, maybe it's with our bodies, maybe it's with our minds, maybe it's with our, our hearts. We're safeguarding something because we don't want it to get damaged, because that's the precious thing of life. The Empress is saying, well, maybe the precious thing of life is taking this thing and actually using it. Yeah, maybe it's going to get scratched up. You have that pristine classic car in your garage. Polished it, beautiful. Never drive it. Never let anybody look at it. Never open up the garage. I don't want light to hit it. I don't want the sunlight to damage it. And not that one way is wrong, one way is right. It's just different. And I think the Empress is you asking those questions. Well, what is the good life really? Is the good life having something in and keeping it in such pristine shape, but not enjoying it, not using it? Yeah. Or as the Fool and the Hanged Man say, are we letting go of that? And we're realizing that I want to get out there and live. I want to get out there and do the thing. And if I use it all up, then I use it all up. I'd rather it get used up in a very positive way than for it to just kind of wither and die and not ever having, gone outside and done anything, right? And I don't know what we're talking about. This is all major arcana energies, right? All major arcana energies. I think you had a lot of sensitive experiences when you were a kid. I think you had look at the bottom of the deck. It's got the Princess of Wands. That is that impulsive behavior, right? That is an energy. That's a kid that doesn't care about anything. Doesn't care what gets damaged or scratched up. Just wants to go out and have fun. They're climbing rocks and doing all these kinds of things. Someone that doesn't really care about banging up their stuff, Anyway, I feel like you've had a lot of sensitive experiences when you were a kid. Something that made you feel like you had to preserve something. And maybe it's just a general way of going through life, that life itself is a precious thing, that we can't damage it. We've got to carry it carefully through life. Don't get too close. Don't take it outside. Let's see. What else do we have? Ace of Cups. Well, maybe we're talking about the heart here. Right? Maybe we're talking about the emotional life, our vulnerability in terms of allowing ourselves to love and be loved. We got this precious emotional body, Our heart, very sensitive thing. And it makes sense that we keep it surrounded by some armor, But too much of this, I think, is, it's not what you want right now. I think we're willing to, as we see with the Princess of Wands, we're willing to take a little bit of a risk. We're saying, okay, I want to enjoy life, even if it means that things might get a little scratched, my car might get a little dent here and there. But at least it means it's been driven, it's been enjoyed, right? Life's been lived, right? And in a way, this is us kind of saying, I don't mind if my body gets some scars. I've got scars, not from, doing fun things or anything. Some of them actually, yeah. I've got scars on my knees from when I used to play baseball or Little League when I was a kid. I'd slide a lot and I'd get all scratched up. But it's the same way, I think, with our emotional body. We could get through life having never been hurt, never experienced any kind of any pain or regret or heartbreak. But, it's different. Yeah. And I don't think it's perhaps always been this way for you, or maybe there has been, like I said, there's some sensitive things that have happened, and maybe that's when we started to really put the armor on. Let's see what the next card is on the path of the dove. It's the Seven of Pentacles. It's kind of an unknown. It's kind of we can't see the benefit of something yet. And it's kind of, to me, this feels like, well, I don't know if that's safe. So the charioteer sees a road like this. Well, I'm not driving on that road. That's a path that probably gonna mess up my suspension, probably a dirt road gonna scratch up my car. I'm not driving on that. When I had a car back in the day, I had a company car and it was brand new. And I'm gonna be careful with it. I'm not gonna drive it on any dirt roads. I'm gonna wash it every week. I'm gonna polish it. I'm gonna keep it nice. And it wasn't my car, but it was the only like kind of new car I've ever had. And after a month or two, it's dirt roads, not intentionally to bang it up, but it's just like we can be a little bit too cautious with things. And it's maybe an inconvenience, maybe it's limiting our experience of what this Empress is really showing us. And this is getting the most out of life. I think you're in that mode now where this is just, life is meant to be lived. Car is meant to be driven. Using things for their proper purpose, And so maybe the Ace of Cups is you realizing what your purpose is in life. And even if it's uncertain, even if there's going to be ups and downs and heartbreaks, and even if we're going to get scratches and bumps and bruises, it's your purpose. And I think that we all kind of have that question to ask ourselves, what is my purpose and am I living that? Am I doing that? Even when we can't exactly see on a day-to-day basis that this is giving me any kind of benefit, what am I doing now? And the Seven of Pentacles, sometime, in this case I think for sure, is saying that those most meaningful experiences in life are the ones that don't produce anything of quote-unquote value. These are the experiences that don't help us pay the bills, that don't kind of give us any kind of sense of progress in that kind of a material way. It's not, those experiences, they're not adding up to something. You know what I mean? It's not like we're putting coins in a piggy bank here. Does that make sense? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is the random card from the Pamela Coleman Smith Tarot. We're going to set it down over here. We're going to put Mr. Tao, the yin yang duck, right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this reading you feel like you know what that card is, put your prediction down in the comments. Let's do it together as a group exercise. Yeah. We're going to move over to the path of the serpent now, and as we do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free, doesn't cost anything, and it really does help out the channel, and I really do appreciate that. So what is the general energy? The Lover's card. Well, we could be talking about romantic love. We could be talking about that love for life, right? That commitment to a sense of destiny, of purpose. See, I feel like you're inspired by something. And I feel like that inspiration is here where we're willing to put ourselves out there. We're willing to be vulnerable. We're willing to, we're willing to get, a little banged up. It's okay that the car gets some scratches because we are motivated, right? This is inspiration. This is us being in love with something to the point where, yes, we want to immerse ourselves in it. To the point, where we're even kind of willing to lose ourselves or forget ourselves for that moment. And it's kind of the Chariot, it's kind of back there saying, what? Forget about ourselves? What? No, we've got to protect ourselves. We have to remain, perfect at every moment. I don't want any scratches, any bumps or bruises. And very often, my wife will ask me, how'd you get that bruise? Like, I got a bruise on my arm right now. And I get a lot of bumps and bruises, right? And my wife will say, what happened? What did you do? And I don't know. And really, I feel like what it is just being immersed in what I'm doing, and I don't realize or it doesn't really register that, I've had to push against the wall or the rock, or that I bumped into something, or that putting something together, that something was leaning on me, or I hit my arm on, whatever it was, It's just an example of the way when we're so involved in something, we're so immersed in something that we kind of lose that sense of self. We lose the awareness of, of our body, or even of time and space sometimes, in a kind of very deep way. I feel like that's what this is about for you. This is about you immersing yourself in life. You are inspired by something that makes you want to immerse yourself in it in a way that there's really very little concern for yourself here. There's the Ace of Swords in the position of the environment. It's very simple for you. This isn't a complicated thing. Okay? I think that you are, with the Ace here, I think you're making room for the new. Right? The Fool is kind of the empty mind. The Ace of Swords is kind of the empty mind too, but this is the clear head. Not clear in the sense that you have all the answers, but clear in the sense that you don't need to know all the answers. You don't need to have a plan. You don't need to have any kind of reassurance or validation. You know what you feel. You know the inspiration. It's a spiritual inspiration. It is this love that something that you want to immerse yourself in, and you're very clear-headed about it. And the Ace of Swords is, we're not looking for answers. We don't need all the answers. Okay? We don't need all the answers. Let's see what's next here. That's the card. This is the obstacle. This is what we don't want, right? This is what we don't need. And this is the answers. So very appropriate. Two of Swords in the position of what we don't want. What we don't want is the intellectual discourse. What we don't want is to have to explain it to anybody. What we don't want is to have to convince ourselves that it's okay. What we don't want is that inner dialogue, that inner kind of decision-making. Well, should I or shouldn't I? No, we feel the inspiration and we just want to live. We just want to do it. We want to immerse ourselves in it. We don't want to think too much about it. Because maybe the thinking will bring us back to that chariot, and we'll realize that logically, intellectually, reasonably speaking, it would make sense that I stay here and be safe. And I'm not advocating any kind of risky behavior or anything dangerous or anything like that. But we talk ourselves out of doing things. We talk ourselves out of living life. If there's this amazing opportunity in front of you that, yeah, we don't know what it's going to be like. Could be a very bumpy road, but it's an amazing opportunity. Logically, it seems like I should probably say no and stay here. Right? That's what we don't want. What is our final outcome? Three of Pentacles. Well, it's not the major arcana climax that I was hoping for, but it's work. It's doing. It's action. It's behavior. Right? And it's the three. It's saying that your body, your heart, and your mind are in it, ready to go. Every part of your being is saying yes. And it's an internal cooperation. Your heart is pure. Your mind is clear. And now we see that your body's on board too. So it feels, and of course, that Fool and the Lover's card and all the major arcana, This has got to be the very best reading I've ever had for you. Because this is fundamentally a reading that is saying that you're ready to pursue all of your goals, that you're in this very, very clear and pure energy right now. It feels like there's nothing that's really holding you back from anything. But it's interesting because I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're involved with. I don't know what you want to immerse yourselves in. But I feel that there's nothing holding you back. Your heart and your mind are clear. purity in your heart, clarity in your mind, and you're moving forward. This is really a reading that's saying, whatever it is that you feel inspired to do right now, you do it, and there's nothing stopping you. Nothing is holding you back. I feel like this is rare. I feel like this is something that really should be taken advantage of. And I feel like we don't want to delay ourselves or postpone anything because we need to think things through more. I feel like you've lived your life that way already. I feel like there's nothing to really think through here, you know? I'm not saying to go out and do anything risky, or, you know, we're not invoking the Princess of Wands necessarily, but we are saying that this is something that, don't convince yourself not to do it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Okay? Your mind is clear, your heart is pure. Just do it. Yeah, just do it. Let's look at the mystery card. This will help us out, right? This will give us the answer. This will show us the joy. This will show us a 9 or a 10 of cups or another Empress. Let's see what we have. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Well, it's 6 of cups. Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe even better than a 10 of cups, right? Because this is kind of this is the card that's showing the happiest day of your life. Yeah, fully immersed in something, and there's an exchange here. There's an interaction with something. This is that state of absolute bliss and euphoria. Yeah. This is showing that connection's being made. Especially when we think of, you know, we have that 3 of Pentacles, that you're putting in the effort, that you're taking that step, that you're putting yourself out there. And this is saying that the universe is responding to you. That your efforts, that your initiation of this energy is coming back to you. It's being reciprocated. It's creating this beautiful, harmonious thing. This is the best day of your life. I feel like this is the best reading ever. This is how you kind of produce this blissful infinite moment. This is it's a 6, right? It's harmony. It's the best of all worlds, kind of all mixed into one perfect moment, one perfect day, one perfect experience. And I think it feels like that infinite moment. This is a perfect confirmation. We're going to do an extended reading, though, too, if you want to stick around. There should be a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Virgo every Tuesday and Saturday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.